So here's Dorado, and as you can see, he had broken his halter, and so it was time to work on putting on a new halter. So I was working with a bit of clicker training here. You'll see I have it's called a stud muffin, so it's kind of like a molasses type treat, and it is pretty big, so I break it up in my mouth a little bit so I can have smaller pieces. So I'm working on just getting him to want to touch the halter. The very first time I took the halter in there, he had a conniption fit. So working on positioning my hand. So for when I go and I put the halter around his head, so you'll see my hand going around his throat latch a little bit. Which that's actually a really big deal for him, allowing me to get comfortable in his space. And I'm just keep doing it. And you'll also see when he does it, I don't have a clicker. I just use like a loud cluck. And so there I'm working on taking the halter off. So I don't just want to take the halter off and scare him. So I'm going to break it down into little sections. So I'm just taking it on and off over his ear, which again, apologize for the framing. It was kind of hard to make sure I could keep his head in it while I'm filming in the stall. And then I'm able to take the halter off and he's not scared. And he got a positive reward for that. You'll also notice I'm in my pajamas. I had just come back from a clinic and it was raining outside. And so lucky for me, I live at the barn. And it was just kind of one of those moments that I took advantage of. So now I'm back to working with getting him to want to reach with his nose into the halter. So now I'm kind of making him think and how to work for his cookie. And there he brought his head in near the halter, so he got rewarded. I also would leave and come back. So these sessions were about 10 minutes long. And so there you'll see I was able to then incorporate the halter with my hand going up around his throat latch. And again, you'll see I was playing with the position of the camera. So again, I apologize if you can't always see his head, but it was able to do. So now I'm able to reach up with the halter and around. And now I'm going to start to try to flip the little flap of the halter around, which the next day I end up changing kind of how I do this, but this is how I did it this day. You see he's getting a little worried, but then he gets rewarded. And now I'm doing a new session, and he had scared himself, so I had to start all the way back over again a little bit. So I'm going to wait for him. You see he's kind of guarded, and he's like, oh my gosh. So now I'm going to go back to getting him to just touch the halter, reach for it with his nose, and then he'll get the reward. And all this is just patience, because he just doesn't know. So he will respond more to the repetition and the repetition of positive reinforcement. So again, now he's starting to reach with the curiosity.
You can do it. Come on.
And I'm just got to wait for him right here.
How are you going to get that cookie? How are you going to get that cookie? Come on.
And there he finally stepped in and stuck his nose in the halter a little bit, so that was good. Again, he's a high fear type horse, so but every day he gets better and better, and he does retain. It's just I always have to start over, even if it's after we've had a couple of sessions and you come back, sometimes you have to start over again. So now I'm going to go back with, it's just like the ABCs, I got to start all over, so I go back to getting comfortable with my hand again. And now I'm waiting for him to let me kind of move the halter and him stick his nose into the halter. And I'm not going to reward when he backs up. There we go.
Then you gotta figure out the
He's
puzzle.
starting to try to figure out how he can get that cookie now.
Puzzle.
There, got the reward.
You gotta do it.
And a lot of this is just waiting to see when I can get that moment. So I've done a couple of sessions, so I'm trying to see if I can get him a little bit further now. Now I'm going to work on flapping that up. You see he gets a little worried, but then he gets a cookie for letting me do that. So now I'm getting pretty close.
Don't hit the phone.
So again, here's another session because I stopped after that last session and he had a break. So again, I'm going to start back over with letting him let me touch under his throat. And now he's in a bit of a funny position for the camera. So I was trying to move him around, but I kind of just went with what I had. Now he's getting even more comfortable. Again, you see I have to break up the pieces of the cookie so I can stretch out my treats. Then it was kind of the moment of truth, and I was able to get the halter on, and he got rewarded. And he's doing pretty good. Like I said, he's a claustrophobic horse, so this is good work to practice with him anyways. And now I'm going to work on taking the halter off.
You can't play the backup game. You're playing the take off game.
And then I'm able to take it off nicely.